All right, so if China does indeed have some bad bank loans on its hands, does it also have some bad banks on its hands? And is that all bad news for us? To the Fox Biz All-Stars, Mike Norman, Liz McDonald, and Jonathan Hoenig. Jonathan, what do you think?
Well, Neil, this was a very similar story back in the late 1990s when China was beset with all these bad loans on its balance sheet. In fact, it's almost a hallmark of communist countries, right? I mean, state banks, as your previous guest, making non-performing loans to state-run companies. So, you know, we saw an amazing turnaround in China during the 2000s. Every step they took towards freeing and opening their economy, this looked like, unfortunately, we're heading in very much the opposite direction.
You know, it is an interesting point, Lizzie, that it's the state banks giving to state businesses that are now acknowledging state problems, but that's a whole other little soap opera, I guess.
Yeah, sounds familiar, right? And then the fix for it is they're saying because the public debt is such at low levels in China, that China has room on its government balance sheet to absorb these bad loans. That sounds familiar, right? It's what's happening,
right.
What's happening here. And so, you know, I've covered China, and I've written about China's very bad bookkeeping system for its bad debt. And look, Ernst & Young, McKinsey have tried to raise red flags about China's problems. They started doing that in 2006. China,
because they can hide a lot of bad stuff,
They can hide a lot, and they do hide a lot. That's right. They're still in that old, you know, system of, you know, productivity in, you know, assets going out the door and revenues going out the door. Very, very state-operated and state-run accounting system. So, you know, so they tried to raise the red flags. China pitched a fit, and they Ernst & Young actually retracted a report red flagging this in 2006. So, you know, Neil, where do we go from here with China? And look, you're absolutely right. If China sneezes, we get the flu. And we saw that in their stock market in February of 2007 when it took a downdraft. It took a hit.
That's
and
right.
our stock market plunged 9% in February of 2007, January of 2007.
Do you think, Mike, China is a problem, or at the very least isn't all that we thought it was? And could that be a problem if it's not?
No, China's not going anywhere. Look,
well, I know it's not going anywhere. It's a big country.
What I'm saying
physically
is
stays where it is.
China's economy, look, you could sell me all the China stocks you want to get rid of. Gladly, I'll take them off your hands.
The same ones whose books are
it has nothing to do with the books. Look,
well, companies and their valuations have everything to do with the financial propriety of the books.
The real wealth of the country is its infrastructure, its ability to produce wealth, its factories, its people who are,
what if it's just a paper tiger? What if it's just been fooling smart guys like you?
No, it's not a paper tiger, because you could go over there and see the massive amount of real wealth that's being created. And by the way,
Lizzie has looked into it. Its numbers aren't real.
You know, why is it that when China sneezes, wait a second, you hang on. When China sneezes, we catch the flu for a very simple reason, Neil, because we have ceded the mantle of economic leadership to China. That's the reason.
Mike, you're making very important points. Quickly, they're still shipping reporters off to jail if they report on corruption in the government. And the accountants only a few decades ago were shipped to re-education camps for trying to report the truth of what's going on with China's bookkeeping.
In terms
of getting the real picture, you don't get the real picture.
Johnny, go ahead.
Mike, China has come off a very low bottom, and as we talked about, opening up their markets and creating the wealth you talked about. I fear that we're becoming basically China here, you know, big state-run ownership stakes,
we are, but for not that
economy.
reason. We're becoming China here because we believe it's in our interest to become an export nation.
Well, you know, I think in a way you're all right. All I'm saying, guys, is China could do no wrong. China was the end-all, be-all, has the world's back. It might very well. I'm just saying, the emperor might not have on as many clothes, is what I'm saying.
No, they have all the clothes that they want.
No, we don't know that at all.
We do know that. We do know that.
We don't know. I have a very important guest who's waiting, and you're not nearly as important as that guest.
Totally know that.
This guest is waiting beyond our HD wing that used to be there.